We're in this together. Love me forever. Ain't no pulling out. Just love me for life. Through sickness or health, poverty or wealth. Ain't no pulling out. Just love me for life. Say you'd be my wife. 'Cause I would rather to be in this bed all alone than to give my love to someone who don't deserve it. Your love is safe and secure all the way. Just let me hear you say, we're in this together. Love me forever. Ain't no pulling out. Just love me for life. Through sickness or health, poverty or wealth. Ain't no pulling out. Just love me for life. Say you'd be my wife. I would feel helpless and hopeless inside. Life would mean nothing if I didn't have you.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves Kevon and Amali and with Azim on the ones and 96s. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9. Good morning, and welcome to another episode. I had to do a dramatic pause.
What?
It was a dramatic pause.
Yeah, I really felt that. Built suspense.
And anticipation is necessary. Welcome to a bright, early Monday morning episode of Island Tea with your faves Kevon and Amali. Featuring Azim on the ones and the 96s, as well as Jade on the OBS and the mouse. Morning, everyone.
Kevon, how was your weekend, bro?
Oh, it was great. I cleaned.
Oh, yeah.
I like to clean.
Hey, I don't tell you, Kevon is a nester, yeah. Kevon is a nester.
But that wasn't a secret. Everybody know I like my house. One thing though is when every pan knock, Kevon will not be there. That's guaranteed.
So Kevon will not be there.
I'm not one of those people who, there's some people when something happen, anything happened the day,
Right.
and like when you're looking at pictures at the event that happened last night, they're just always in the
They're always in the picture.
good luck finding me, because one, I'm not there, and two, if I am there, you probably still won't see me, because I'll be elsewhere, as in probably on the sidelines, or depends on the event.
So
But
Fetvan is a selective fetter.
Fetvan selects his fets, and when he selects his fets and attends, you will see him. And if even the events that I do select and I go to, you might not see me. But when I do select my events, as in I must go.
Right. You will be
That
seen.
also means you must see me. Fetvan selects his vets. His fets.
Indeed.
Selective fettering.
Mm.
That is something the nation should employ. But keep our country clean, keep our country clean, keep our country clean. Wow. So we had a wonderful weekend, at least speaking for myself.
Yeah, mine was kind of slow. I went. The main thing was I attended the national service yesterday.
Oh, right. How was that?
Let me get something to drink. Hold on. It's too early for Hammond.
I wouldn't know to juice. Hurry up.
No, I think the service itself was good. It was a national service, right? The prayers were good. One of the things that I did enjoy this year over previous years, sometimes it had a tendency to go like very long,
On and on and on.
yeah, because I mean the way it's run, there's several prayers for several things, and sometimes the prayers could go on forever and ever, amen. But this year there was some, like, they were conscious about the time, right? But just like with some of the previous independence celebrations that we spoke about, the presentation left a lot to be desired.
Yikes.
And I'm getting very frustrated. This is my thing. Like, independence celebrations are in part not just to celebrate, independence and all of that, but should be to help instill pride in nationals, like home and abroad. Right? It should be something that you look at and you feel proud. You're glad to be a Kititian. Like, much people didn't even know the national service was happening yesterday. Even if you weren't going to attend, even if you weren't going to watch, it should be something that you know is happening. Right? Exactly. Right? You had no idea
until you told us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like there's like 2 tents set up on the ground.
So would you say that it's for lack of a better word, it's not marketed well? That event in particular, since it's the one that happened?
I don't know if that event in particular, because the same Independence Fiesta that happened a couple, like 2 weeks ago, or a week ago.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Like, nobody knew about that either. Right? So, I don't know.
We have a call bright and early in the morning. I know somebody have a lot to say. Good morning. Oh, we lost you. I guess we run out of things to say before we even start. But of course, feel free to call back. But it's Independence Week, everyone.
Yeah.
Celebration. Celebrate good times. Come on. We have the call back. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, President, good morning, teachers.
Lord, you couldn't wait.
Morning.
All right, guys. Kevon, I agree with you 100%. You hear?
Which part?
Not every pan knock you will be there.
Right.
You will be home. And the funny thing about it, you who won't be there, your information if something happen is more accurate than those who rush to go on the spot, Because those who go on the spot, they are the first to say, oh, his foot was wrapped around his waist, and his neck lean and he resting on his left side. Misinformation, and they were there. So the better they did not go and stay home like you, and then the information would be more accurate than they who went there.
Right.
So I agree with you, because that's exactly how it has happened. Some people go to the hospital and say, oh, girl, who I see up there? Mr. Lincoln Lick. And girl, he born, you see? He got this, he got that, and they did not diagnose Mr. Lincoln Lick. How could the man be born and he belly big, and the man fat? So they gone out the hospital, now go tell people that this happened. Go up there quick, go see him here dead and this and tower. So sometimes it's best that a lot of people don't go away.
Right, just stay home. You're better off.
Right. And every time you hear a sound, don't even shove out your head. Because one time in New York, two fellows in the apartment, they reading and watching TV, and while they in there, they hear a big shout down in the street, He said, look out! Look out! One of them shove out here, then he look down and he see what happened, then he come back in and he sit down. And the other one look out after that, then the other one come back in and he say, boy, get me neck chop off, hear the first one. Well, more into that's why I ain't tell you nothing. So when you hear look out, keep your head inside. It could be a sharp galvanized pass in your window.
Yeah.
Then everything you hear, you got there. Whip. Every whip and stick you hear, you reach, run, go. Anyway, I got to go. That's why I call so early.
Okay, great. Well,
Okay, enjoy the rest of the day, guys.
You're welcome. Caller number one.
Thanks, man.
He will forever be caller number one, eh? Oh, our callers. I think we probably have the most interesting, funny / problematic caller base.
Yeah, definitely.
But we love them. Y'all they make me laugh, honestly.
Yo, they make this thing.
They do. Y'all they make me laugh.
No matter talk about the commenters.
Oh, we got some commenters on the live. Oh yes, one in particular is our favorite. Call no name, get no blame. But it is Independence Week, everyone, and wink, wink, wink. We have a lot in store for you. We ain't gonna tell you yet, because we're gonna like to surprise you. But we have a lot in store. Some things some tea you'd like to sip on.
Yeah.
So I hope we will be locked into us this week for sure, because it's going to be an interesting week, a very fun and interesting week. And insightful, enjoyable, all of that stuff, all the good words you could find. It's going to be this week. Every week, but this week is a special one because it's Independence Week. But let's talk St. Kitts and Nevis in true Independence Week fashion.
Yay!
I vow to thee, my...
Don't do that. Why is it everybody to get the national anthem wrong?
Hey.
The second half.
Because, right, like when you're singing under pressure in front of a lot of people,
Yeah, everybody forget.
words fail.
You forget. It's true. You
Really?
forget.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
Well, for me, I can't.
For
I would
most
never sing
people.
the national, I can't sing, but,
But
I
you,
would
but,
never.
you, but you don't regularly sing in front of people, though. Sometimes it's people who regularly sing in front of
Yeah, and then they still get it wrong.
yeah, and the brains fail.
Me know what it is about that second verse. It's
You know what it
Some
is?
words just kill them.
You know what it is? Is that the melody of the two verses is exactly
exactly
the same.
no change. So,
So
it
it's
just
like
feel
you could just
repetitive.
plug in lines from each verse into the other
Yeah,
verse.
interchangeable, and they still fit and still make sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just like random lines from each verse and you still have a verse.
I feel like if I could have sing and I was singing and I forgot the national anthem, I would have just stopped singing.
I would
Mm.
not. That's probably not the best
I'd
thing
probably
to
just
do.
migrate.
Yeah, I'd finish and then leave.
Probably move to
No,
station.
I mean stop singing at the time.
Mm.
Like just be like, well, that's my time.
Your nation's favorite. But let's talk about something that happened last week. So, mechanical engineer Mark Pennyfeather, who's a dear friend of mine. We went to school together. Another bastard hell. He was featured. He was the featured speaker at the annual Prime Minister's Independence Lecture Series. The lecture series is one of. Did I say his name? Mark Pennyfeather. I don't remember if I said his name. Mark Pennyfeather was the feature speaker at the PM's Independence Lecture Series. The lecture series is one of the featured activities on the calendar for the 37th Independence celebration. Due to social distancing protocols currently in place as a result of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, the address was delivered virtually this year. Pennyfeather, who is a graduate of Basti High, I have to plug that, as well as recently the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, and currently the assistant manager at KDP Enterprises and Air Express Incorporated. He focused his presentation on the innovation and what it means for people, young people in particular, to pivot and shift their focus, and to help the country shift its focus and diversify our economy by utilizing the platforms that are available online. Mark Pennyfeather expressed that this year's theme, Resilience, Innovation and Security for Independence 2020, encouraged him to deliver the lecture. As a young child, Pennyfeather would take apart radio control cars and inspect the contents, and as a teen he sketched wild ideas and concepts, no doubt inspired by his love for science fiction movies. That is ridiculous. That is really annoying and accurate.
Indeed.
It's not annoying, but Mark was always drawing on something. And
That's true.
Yeah. Like he couldn't take up a book and there wasn't some sketching. And he could sketch for true, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, talents are given to some, not all. 'Cause I missed him out.
I can't draw straight line with a ruler.
I can't draw nothing.
At all.
I could draw. No. However, he went on to express that because of the lack of practical experience in the designing and building machinery throughout his earlier education, he was not prepared for the culture shock he would face when stepping into the world of his tertiary education. Pennyfeather's university journey presented him with what he described as a hyper-competitive environment, where students had to secure internships every 4 months. He admitted his doubts about continuing his higher education because of the lack of experience he had. He said, I managed to close this gap by joining a team that built small hybrid race cars. I am forever thankful for that experience because it gave me the opportunity to grow. I exercised knowledge I learned in class. I developed my problem-solving skills, learning how to work as a team member, and most importantly, how to contribute towards achieving a common goal. One of the biggest takeaways was that from his university experience was that he gained the ability to accomplish a goal as a collective. Throughout this, he understood what it meant to be resilient, facing and conquering culture shock, his doubt about belonging, competitiveness, and achieving one goal throughout a collective effort. And through this, he made the comparison to resilience of St. Kitts and Nevis, because that's all what we stand for justice and liberty. He said a society being resilient means working together, like when the Federation acquired independence and brilliant minds and charismatic personalities paved the way. Or like when the Federation rebounded from the greatest recession and hundreds of jobs were created at a rapid pace. He commended the response of the Federation that it had during the COVID-19 pandemic to show yet another example of our resilience. We should not dwell on the past failings, and the focus should be shifted towards the future. The only thing that matters is how you adapt to your circumstances, and the only question you should ask yourself is, what are you doing today to make tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year better? Not just for yourself, but your community and world at large. Pennyfeather went on to express the potential he sees within our federation in healthcare, biomedical research and development, offshore data security, exclusive agriculture, digital learning, and entertainment as veins of innovation ready to be accessed. These veins are even more prevalent now with the economic setback brought by our lovely friend COVID-19, and the proof that the tourism industry is not sustainable, and a sustainable economic model with this ongoing example of how a global pandemic can bring it all to a halt.
You said
I said what?
You said a mouthful.
I got more.
I thought he read the man whole speech.
About to say.
Listen, this is a Basti High alum. We have
So
to
we have
to present his
when
words.
So when it's Washi alum, we just quote them, but then when it's Basti, we read the speech.
No, but he basically went on, and he ended the.
Me and him-
No,
he ain't done it.
I tell you, man, done. He ended by reminding us that securing our intellectual properties and the minds of our youths and the innovations that will come should be paramount in pivoting and diversifying our economic future. His final words were somewhat of, I am here to remind you, to inform you that you all need to help this country pivot, and that the information you need to help this country pivot is at your fingertips. Next time you are at home or on a lunch break, browse the internet, start a course, talk to a peer, an elder, figure out what persons do around here, refine your skills, demonstrate to them how you can use those skills, research what people need beyond our borders, and that you can offer remotely. Get skills, get involved, hurt your brain, fail, try again, fail again, but never give up. Invest in yourself and be resilient, be innovative, and help secure a nation's future.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome.
No, but I think this speech actually, or this presentation, I think the actual term was a lecture.
It was great.
I think it generated a lot of interest in the lecture from young people, which has not traditionally been the case. It's something the Prime Minister's lecture series kind of just comes and goes. Like, the intellectuals of society kind of look forward to it and they attend and whatever. One of the things I found interesting was that there were so many young persons who attended the lecture series this year. And that of course is because of who the presenter was.
Yeah, for sure.
So and he did an amazing job. So I think it's just a testament to the fact that young people do have stuff to contribute. Not only just by just by creating or whatever, but even by giving advice and direction to the nation.
I think like you said, young people always have something to contribute, and I think a lot of the older folks think that because we're young we don't have experience, but I think what we really need to work out is we need to get experience from somewhere, and unless you let us participate we will never get that experience, and then we'll be 40 and 50 with no experience because we were never given the chance to have experience. So it's not just about you don't have any experience. We need to get experience from somewhere. So we need to involve ourselves and be involved. We also have a call on the line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, should we really have to mark it a national service of Thanksgiving, as was suggested?
Yes, sir,
to me, it says a
because
lot about
persons need to know it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you really think people didn't know it was happening?
These people did not know.
This is an annual event, and well, to me, it says a lot about patriotism, okay, and the feeling of being included in the whole thing. And I noticed the hesitation of, I think it was Amali, in expressing his misgivings about the presentation.
It wasn't me.
I don't think you should be afraid to come straight out and express dissatisfaction. We improve by being critiqued, not by indulging in endless self-congratulation, okay, over mediocrity. Yeah, so I think you are absolutely correct for a presentation at that level, okay, and so you shouldn't pull no punches. I listened to another show over the weekend. That was embarrassing when we compared the local to the regional presentations, right?
Yep.
Criticisms came over as being condescending and backward-looking instead of being futuristic and innovative. Okay, I was really blown away by the kind of presentations that we had on that show.
Which show was that, sir?
Both positive and on this station, Inside the News, I think.
Inside the News, okay.
Yeah, there were
I'm not
4
privy.
presenters: Ambassador Hull, Lawyer Charles Wilkins, and there was Richardson from Trinidad, I think it was, and someone from Dominica.
Okay.
Martin, I think it was, might have been
Okay.
Ati Martin from Dominica. And, well, it's posted on the website, so if you didn't hear it, you should listen to it and
Yeah.
see what you think of that presentation.
Yeah,
But
I'll go look
Mr.
for it,
Pennyfeather's presentation, on the other hand, I mean, that was a redeeming one. I was
Yes.
really impressed
Yep.
by what he had to say. Okay, it's just the kind of message that we needed at this particular juncture. It's not going to be as easy to pivot, even though we need to do so. Okay, and one of the important things that I noted about his presentation was the fact that he stressed the preparation for that pivoting. You know, it's not going to just happen like that. He mentioned his own challenges and being educated and that sort of thing. Well, if we are to be honest, and we do some analysis of where we are in terms of our human resources, our education, our training, the positions of the youth. You know, if we do an analysis of that, I think we would not be in a good stead. So obviously we have some serious work to do on education and training, even as we try to pivot at the same time. Because, you know, one, if you've done physics, you know that what is essential for a pivot is a fulcrum. That you can't pivot unless you have that. And education and training, I think, is going to be our fulcrum in our attempts to pivot. Okay, then.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for your contribution, sir.
Yeah, for sure. When he started off and he was saying about the event.
Yeah.
I think the event definitely needs to be marketed. I think what we need to really realize is that we're in a different era in terms of, let's say 20 years ago. Yes, it's independence, and yes, this event happens annually. And back then you probably had to commit these things to memory, because if you know, you know. But then now, in an information age, unless young people see a flyer, we don't know it's happening.
Dude, let me tell you something. This is what people don't understand. Anything that is happening, you're competing for people's time and attention. Whether you want to admit it or not, you're competing for people's time. And so, instead of me going online and watching the live stream on Facebook, I could use the same device and be watching my favorite show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
And so the idea that persons should just watch it just because.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that's like affecting a lot of spheres in society. Yeah? Like from school to church. Like people feel, you should just come to church, so the church shouldn't try to market itself and present something that persons want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Because, it's just church and you should just come because.
Right.
It's independence and people should just know these things and want to come and want to watch.
Like its frequency isn't enough to interest me. And I think that's what people fail to realize. Church happens every Sunday. There are many people who don't go to church because there's nothing that interests them. They don't see anything to interest them.
Right.
And, that could be solved with some marketing. And yes, churches can market. And so it applies to everything. I mean, even let's use the U.S. for an example. The Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade happens every single year. It's a given. However, they still market it. They still tell you who's going to be there. They still,
because it's
special parade, special this and special that happening, because they want you to say, okay, this is happening. Okay, I'll go. But if it just happens and
but not
the
only
excuse
that,
is that it happens every year, you should know it, then you'll see a massive change in the audience.
But you see, the issue is what would be the best marketing strategy for things like this is well-produced products. If the product is something that Ketitians can be proud of and look forward to on an annual basis, but I remember, this year does be amazing. Like, that's the best marketing tool,
and
not a flyer.
And then on top of that, it goes from word of mouth, because if you went last year, right, and it was great, and you come to me and say, boy, this so-and-so happening on Sunday.
Exactly.
I went last year and the thing was great. I had such a good time. Then I would more likely to be inclined to say, I'm going to come with you this year.
Right.
And just like that, your one went to two. Your number of one person showing up just went to two. So.
But not only that, like saying that you shouldn't have to market doesn't make sense, because everybody isn't thinking about the same things 24/7. Right. I mean, I might last week say I want to go, and then this week I forgot because it just was out of sight, out of mind. So saying that it doesn't need to market doesn't make sense to me. Everything needs marketing, no matter how small it is. As an event, especially something that you to commemorate the federation, you should push it out there and you should market it.
Carnival happens every year. We still market it, and we have to market it to the locals as well, because it also goes with saying that, again, I said earlier, the frequency doesn't change my interest. However, at the same time, I'm also wondering, especially in the COVID-19 pandemic, if I don't hear about it, is it happening?
Right.
Is
a bunch of stuff was cancelled.
Has anything changed? Is it going to be online
Stuff
this
that's
year?
usually held in the same venue.
Right. And then if I sit there and wonder, I don't know what's going on with this event. There does normally match in a circle around the circus every Monday of Independence, but me hearing nothing this year, I wonder if it's cancelled. I'm probably living in Dateby. I might not come all the way to town to find out if it's happening. I might just stay home.
Right. I mean, the thing is just to generate interest, and you do that in many ways. It's not necessarily like put out a flyer or have Sugar Bowl or ad.
Right. It's just
whatever.
You have to generate interest.
And like I said, the best marketing tool for the product is the product itself.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So let's do away with this love affair with mediocrity and embrace her sexiness, excellence. And maybe people will just be more interested because there's something to be proud of, something to go and see, something that you want to be a part of.
Right.
Because people want to be a part of excellence.
Yeah. Because if we really think about it, when we look at these independence events, a lot of them, the audience is filled with the older generation, and the younger generation is, often nowhere to be found. And that is because, we don't appeal to the, a lot of events don't appeal to the younger crowd, because, it's this sort of mentality of, you should be patriotic, you have to give us a reason to be patriotic. Not that we're saying, the nation is ungrateful, but you have to appeal to people to come out. And, times are changing for sure. So what worked for the audience 40 years ago is not going to possibly won't work for the audience that's happening right now. You have to shift.
And not only that, the audience is becoming more and more sensitive. The people are consuming more content.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that we have these levels that have to attain. The bar is being raised all the time.
Because then we also have to remember that, like we said, information error. It's literally information error. And there's an article I could read last night about the nation that makes me not show up to Independence, any Independence events for the next week. And we have to take all these things into consideration. I could read an article that said, for example, saying kids give away half the country.
Right.
And that might upset me, and I no longer want to show up to any independence events. And it's not just about being patriotic. It's about, the information you're consuming leading up to and so on. And it's so many factors you have to consider when it comes to these types of things. But we'll take a very short break, and we'll come back with more Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
There's nothing more fulfilling than a hot cup of tea in the morning to get your day started right. Island tea, that is, with your faves, Kevon and Amali. Tune in to Win FM 98.9, Monday to Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. for a tall cup of steaming hot conversation on local, regional, and international news, entertainment, pop culture, and of course, up close and intimate interviews with inspiring people from all walks of life. Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, right here on Win FM.
And remember, you can't be everybody cup of tea because you is not a mug.
Protect your lifestyle with Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Dealing well with a local reputation and service for second to none. Securing you is our mission. People that you can trust, your business, property, we got you covered. Motor or personal, whatever it is, we got you covered. 130 years in this business, we've got you covered. For all your insurance needs, visit or call us at 465-2631 or 469-5303. DLU Walwyn, people you can trust.
I dream, say, this thing have to change up.
I saw the moon and the stars. I saw the sun by day and the stars by night, yeah. On and on, your love flows on. On and on and on and on, like the rivers of
Jordan. Bless. Your love will never fail, He's always there. Evil may rise, but with your light I have no fear. See a man's face, blind to the heart, so best beware. No matter what mankind do or say, a jack on the atmosphere. Too baller than Rasta. I love me preach all over. Tune into them positivity. Worldwide, not just Jamaica. Wise words teach wisdom forever. Nowhere no evil can conquer. Yo, so when them hype and overdo it, just remember your heart belongs to the meek. Yeah, your love will never fail, He's always there. Evil may rise, but with your light I have no fear. See a man's face, blind to the heart, so best beware. No matter what mankind do or say, a jag on the atmosphere. Life is a battlefield, so we keep on chatting. And anything can happen. Happy murderers and chain grabbing. More global terrorist bombing. I stand in campus view over the edge, now landing goes on. The story goes on. Well, I tell you about the 666. Anglican, them want fight Baptist. Hey, one never in the living chick, what angels, demons, Catholic. But just like in the days of Daniel, Jah rescue his people from the pit and the ditch. Jah love will never fail, He's always there. Evil may rise, but with your light I have no fear. See a man's face, blind to the heart, so best beware. No matter what mankind do or say, a jag on the atmosphere. And then no matter what them do or them think of, it a go bitter from the cup where them drink of. Them dirty works and all them meeting when them link up. Them vampires where you look blood fi suck. A man is just a man, yeah. Clay is what you made of. Jah rule the earth, nothing out there that you should be afraid of. Cause everything where Jah design set fi manifest. Hold up your head, youth, spit in bless. Yes, Jah love will never fail, He's always there. Evil may rise, but with your light I have no fear. See a man's face, blind to the heart, so best beware. No matter what mankind do or say, a jag on the atmosphere.
Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali. Now, it's Independence Week, and, we're going to try to keep the news very isolated to St. Kitts as possible for the upcoming week. But let's talk more St. Kitts and Nevis. So, PM, our Prime Minister, Dr. Honorable Timothy Harris, he said his team... He says his Team Unity government is dedicating the next 5 years in office to the young people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He made the announcement on Tuesday's edition of Leadership Matters and noted that he is very impressed by the passion of our young people to excel. The next 5 years of my administration I dedicate to the young people of St. Kitts and Nevis who are not asking what their country can do for them, but instead are doing incredible feats for the benefit of the development of the country. He said that the efforts of the young people helped to inspire his administration's decision to establish a Ministry of Entertainment, Entrepreneurship and Talent Development. He also shared that the rollout of this new ministry will see the provision of a national policy. As we build our new Ministry of Entertainment, we will unveil our national policy to provide the necessary facilitating environment in which ideas merge, talent shines, mentors volunteer, and venture capital and other support are available to new entrepreneurs, which is what he said. He also added that young people are essential to nation building. Our country has many talented people. We cannot afford to lose them as we build out our nation, making it our Garden of Eden. We want our young people everywhere to shine the light and in so doing elevate their lives and the lives of others here in St. Kitts and Nevis. He said it is his hope that more young persons will add something of value to the country to utilize their talents in areas such as music and entertainment, visual arts, craft, photography, cinematography, literary arts, science, technology, engineering and math, fisheries and agriculture. And then he commented several young persons who he said have impressed him. These include entrepreneur Desi Brown, Alexis St. Just, Jonathan Brown of J Black Productions, radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia, event promoter Amali Amani, and sound engineer Azim Bailey. My friend them.
We are man of people.
Yeah, we know people. We are doing coronavirus.
He's quite correct. We're amazing.
You know, I mean on the list because I don't got things. I just stay home.
You probably just didn't know how to spell Fetman.
Yeah, probably. Or you know, I have a personalized Fed cup.
Yeah,
Like anything less to be uncivilized.
I have several personalized Fed cups.
Somehow I just knew that.
They don't have Fed one on them, but you know what I mean? More coming. I have different ones. Like I have a metal silver one, which is the upscale. The upscale one. I have the plastic mason jar one. I have one for everything.
I want in my cart right now. You know the red solar cups.
Yeah.
But it's gold and made out of stainless steel.
What?
In the shape of a solar cup.
So it looks like a solar cup.
Really like that.
He has a cover?
No. But
no, I like covered drinks in Feds because I need to.
I want somebody to slip me a Mickey.
I want to be able to, when a song come on and I jump up, you know, my drink don't spill.
I don't jump up. I'm fat.
Amali, sorry, I don't know what to do with you.
I have to remain grounded.
Yeah. Especially after getting big up by the Prime Minister like that.
Yeah, but I can't be fine on in public and say,
yeah.
See you on the weekend.
Drunk and disorderly.
But you know, St. Kitts is doing things. And we could say that I think this is like the, what do you call it? I don't want to say decade because it just started and ain't off to a good start. But this is the time period where young people are really started grabbing markets by the horns.
But I think that what you said right there is what's key. I think, and the Prime Minister mentioned it in his speech where he said, you know, the young people that are not asking what the country could do to them.
Yeah.
A lot of young people recognize just gotta do what you gotta do.
Just gotta do it.
You just gotta do it, especially in these times.
Start somewhere.
Yeah, you just gotta do what you gotta do. It's not necessarily about handouts. And I keep telling people sometimes, in order to receive support, you have to jump out and start something. Because the truth is, everybody ain't gonna see a vision. Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't gonna see what it is you're working with. So like going around expecting people to just give you whatever it is simply because you know that what you have is a good idea, or you know, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes you just have to go ahead, make a start, and that's when people actually see the potential because it's already happening.
Yeah, because oftentimes if you go and voice your idea to somebody, they'll knock it right down in front of you. You say, oh, you know, I want to start a new a quick ferry service from St. Kitts to Nevis. Well, you need a ferry service for this one down Basti. Nobody can come to that, and you know, they give you every reason as to why your business won't work. And then you go and do it, and
but hey, man, he did talk about that.
Yeah, I remember you
tell him,
and I tell him, that's a good idea. And then they're the same people who are going to be on it asking for free rides and
of
free
course,
trips.
I was there at the beginning.
When they're the same people and try to knock it down. But
yeah, make a start, people. Make a start.
Just
and
start
I was going to mention that when you're talking about I hate mornings.
Yeah, we all do.
Oh yeah, we're talking about, you know, the young people. We're talking about Mark Pennyfeather with the elections and how young people, you know, they can actually do great things, contribute and contribute, and a lot of older folks, you know, ain't believe in And part of the reason is what you just mentioned, that a lot of young people sit around and wait for handouts. And I remember a very wise man once told me.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Lord. A very wise man once told me, he said, Amali, you have to create your own success. No one's going to give you anything, ever. Don't even sit down, don't even try, don't even ask.
You understand?
Just do what you got to do and elevate yourself. And that's the same narrative that I'm hearing this morning from this conversation. Like, and you see the people like highlighted are people who actually do things for themselves.
Yeah.
They ain't waiting for nobody to get them a job or you know what I'm saying.
And start, and it doesn't have to be a big start. And I fell victim to this too. Like personally, like having a lot of big ideas, and feeling like before, like I needed everything in place and I needed things to be right so I could start the vision where I saw it like maturing, and and that hinders some of us sometimes, because we know what the potential is and we kind of want to go straight there sometimes. But sometimes you just gotta make a start. Just make a start, And the truth is, this is something like my dad like pushed on me young. He said, "Look, but he's a man that read too much. But like he'll use terms like you're risk resilient when you're young, right? So everything you try ain't gonna work. But you want to make a try when you're 50?
It's a numbers game.
Right. When you're young, you fail when you're young.
You got time to play the numbers.
you got time to fail and recover.
Yeah.
When you're young. With less responsibilities and all these things.
And more support too.
Right, exactly.
I mean, when you're 40, who you going to ask? Who you going to ask?
Man, we only got a few more years
ask
back.
Ask the person 41. Just ask them for help.
Yeah, and it's true that there's a lot like some people were highlighted in the Prime Minister's speech and thing, but there's a lot of young people who are doing things. There's so many young entrepreneurs who are doing innovative businesses. Some of them we've had here on the show. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we've highlighted a lot of them here, and I think that these persons should really be recognized. But one thing I want to impress on the callers and the viewers is to go out and support young small businesses. Don't just be like, yeah man, what they're doing is good, them young people, yes.
I pour it there, man. So
No, go out, support the businesses,
support
the initiatives. Persons have their dance studios and things. Go to the recitals. Persons,
go to the recitals.
Yeah,
and even thing
recitals are amazing.
Go to the recitals, rent the spaces, because a lot of people have spaces that they use for their own business, but they're also open to renting for other purposes. Rent spaces, rent local, rent the space, inquire, can I have the space for this time? And, I don't understand why people think that local equals discount or free. Pay for it.
Yeah.
Because the same way you would rent Marriott's ballroom without a question, or you wouldn't ask them for free, you should contact a local business and ask, to pay.
And I love to that many of these small businesses in St. Kitts and Nevis are owned by ladies.
Yes, many of them.
I
want to.
I would even go on a legend and say, I think more girls own.
Yeah, I think majority of the small businesses are actually owned by women, and I love it, to be honest. And also love the fact that people know to say no. The small business owners know how to say no. Because people would call them, hey, we want you to give us 300 flying dancers and, rockets and fireworks, but can you do it for free? And a lot of business owners will rightfully say no, because they know that,
But not only that, they understood what the sacrifices that they would have made to even get this thing off the ground. Right? And that's outside of even the cost of operation and stuff like that. Just the fact that, I do this on my own. You understand? But
many food businesses to buy. Young women.
And
evidence and things.
And the other thing I want to impress on us is to don't look down on persons doing their own thing simply because you don't see what they're doing as being glamorous.
Right.
Like there's this guy, he sits somewhere there on the square and Bank Street, and he just sell juices. But I try to support it. I don't drink juice, I drink water, right? But it's dude just hustling.
And they got Salvage though.
Salvage,
Tishan.
man.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Hey, watch it. You're talking about selfish. But if you ever stop and realize, like, what is man doing? Like, has the potential. Like, I don't know the business. I don't know the financials or anything like that. But it's business and more quite possibly lucrative business to it.
But as in
Very
they're doing
lucrative
very
business.
well.
Very well.
That's what I just saying. Like, I don't personally know, like, his financials.
Right.
But, dude, when you stop and study how much money women spend on looking their best, salons and all and these kind of things.
And the MUAs and the nail techs. Oh,
Boss.
They
forget about
do.
the nail techs.
They do great. And you know what else I want the nation to do, which might be quite a task to ask. I would really love if the nation could start pocket watching small businesses.
Oh my word.
Because people look at, let's use nail techs for example. People say, how much is a nail session? I actually haven't a clue. And Jay just went out the studio.
You could get a nice pedicure for.
No, like a nail, like the acrylic and so.
Your foot, right?
A man is, yeah, that's a man hand. Yeah, manicure's hand. That's what I
Manicure is
remember.
hand. Pedicure is
Manicure
feet.
rhymes with hand. Man. rhymes with
Pedicure is
hand.
feet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, manicure is hand, pedicure is feet.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, whatever you want me for your foot, it costs, I'll tell you now.
Oh, I had a lovely
I was talking about one
pedicure.
day with somebody.
Yeah, but
I had a
you know,
lovely pedicure.
well, you find a number. Let's just call a random figure.
3
Let's
weeks
say
ago.
it's called like what? Let's say $100. That's a fair.
$100.
That's
$100 by where?
150, right? Let's
About
call it
150.
let's call it 150. People look at it and say, "Oh, she do 6 people nails today. So in one day she make $900."
They do this with everything.
And then you need to understand the things that the nails were done with were not free. They
Rent.
don't just rent is there to
Electricity,
pay.
utilities.
Electricity is there to pay. The
Yeah, and then a pedicure,
$90.
$90.
No, no.
$95.
That's
sorry.
with stuff on it like
gel polish.
okay. So just regular
Ah.
polish $90. Not that don't include the acrylic and the extension pieces. Me know what they call. Forgive me. But
Yeah, let's get the natural,
Stop
the
pocket
natural,
watch.
the natural polish.
the glass, yeah.
But I know Kevon is a man who just like
The pedicure is the foot.
more fashionable than me.
That's what we just said.
That's what we keep saying.
Manicure's
Amali.
hand.
Yeah.
As you were saying, Azim.
No, I was saying like I was asking if y'all let's get the clear polish
Yeah.
when you finish your pedicure.
Of course.
I oppose it.
You go
I do.
all natural.
Huh?
You go
Yeah.
all natural.
I get the
My lady just buffs them.
Oh,
So they still shine.
oh.
No, I get the clear polish, but then I also have remover at home because I hate when it start to chip.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
yeah,
it just and then people leave it till it chip all the way off.
That's actually a people mine. Eh?
And then it look like you got archipelago on your
On your toe?
toenail. Like you got the Caribbean dried on your toenails. But
World map.
but
Is that Africa?
you know, I would really love if people could stop pocket watching small businesses, because it's you over here saying, oh, she make this and this and this and things cost money.
And you don't know. You don't know.
You don't know
just
if this
don't know.
person started a loan to do the venture, so all this money they're making going right back into the loan. You don't know
I
what
have-
bills they have to
Ooh.
pay. Just stop pocket watching
And
and
the sad
support.
part is most small businesses fail within the first 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's rough. It's rough to start a business. It's rough to be an entrepreneur. Like people, and sometimes, and one of the things that was interesting about the Prime Minister's speech was he mentioned something that I feel is critical to the success of these initiatives, which is venture capital. Like without venture capital, like a lot of these things are gonna fail, and that's one of the problems in our financial market. The fact that if you want money, you gotta go to the bank, and the bank's arrangement has nothing to do with whether or not you make money or lose money.
No, you just
they
have
want
to pay
money
back.
from the time you withdraw. They expect you to be paying back.
And remember one of the comments I read the other day, so the loans aren't even catered to the type of business it is. So photographers who work in what's they call it, in bookings, we photographers who they work in bookings, they still have to pay monthly whether they have a booking or not and stuff like that. We have a call on the line. Caller, good morning. Oh, we lost you. Again, feel free to call back. But yeah, some people, somebody in the live is here saying they'll be making money sitting in people's offices and still minding other people's business.
Imagine that.
But I think on a previous show we discussed something similar to this. It wasn't venture capital, but it was about the wealthier people in society. We'll take the call quickly. Caller, your live. Good morning.
Hey, Azam and Noite here. You guys are hitting on a topic that I'm very passionate about.
Only as him here.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, hi. It's me.
Hey, everybody.
Big up yourself.
Amali, Kevon, Jade.
But we want it.
Jade is here. But
What are you saying?
All right. I just wanted to actually troll Kevon because he's always on my case. Anyway. This is a topic that is I'm very concerned about with respect to venture capitalists that don't exist here. And I think that we have to start asking the question, why? Why aren't people a lot more inclined to taking the risks that actually matter? Right. Now, when I become a thousandaire soon, I plan to do just that.
Right.
You know, I really plan to, almost like have that mini Shark Tank kind of a way. I think that it starts with somebody taking that leap and other people will actually follow. Make venture capitalism a cool thing, the new in thing, and the rest will follow. Because if people have money, but the savings account doesn't make you a lot more than what you could actually do if you invest in somebody's potential. And when you invest in somebody's potential, guess what you're going to do? You're going to actually work hard or do what you need to do to mentor that person to make sure that you get a return.
Precisely.
So everybody wins.
I'm not sure
had this
conversation last night.
I'm just not sure why. When I was working on my startup, it was difficult. But it's not impossible, but we just aren't thinking the whole mindset of it takes a village. But I'm going to try my best and see what I can do to effect that change. So
it sounds very good.
A good topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I was getting to. I mean, there are lots of people in St. Kitts. People in St. Kitts that die and they're conquer millions.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know anything with their money. They own several buildings downtown and all them dilapidated. The children gone to England and New York to live and never came back, and they're just here chilling, driving out, a Corolla and just
chilling.
But I think that it's going to take forward-thinking young people
to change that.
To change that. And the thing is, apart from just the venture capital type investments, and again, it's so funny we talking about this. Like I had this conversation last night, and Inoite like just. He's like he was like he was in the conversation, and one of the other things that I find very interesting, and I've read several articles and studies on this, is the lack of philanthropic endeavors in the region, right? So, for instance, traditionally, especially in Europe, arts has been funded through the philanthropic community. Right? So, for instance, like Leonardo da Vinci, he would have been like basically funded by the Medici family and stuff like this. Like those aren't things that happen here, right?
That's what I was getting into.
Right. So I mean,
I was getting into what occurs like in the Italian community,
right?
In the Jewish community. I mean, if Kevin and myself are friends, and then I have, a son, for example, or a daughter. And then, my son becomes of age and so, and me and Kevon are good friends and so, but Kevon already has like 6-7 Italian restaurants making good money and so. It's very common for Kevon to say,
pass out, here, take one.
Listen, Amali, come, here, take 50 grand, this is for your son to start the business, whatever you want to do. Give it to him, he's 18 now, he needs to start opening your own business and so, and get on this thing. It's very, very common, and that's why you find the Italians like in New York and in Montreal and people in the Jewish community,
they always
it's widespread wealth,
right. And what people don't recognize
wealth.
is that it impacts the entire community positively, right? Hold on, guys. We actually getting another call. Caller, you live?
Yeah, I'm back again, student, back to the teachers.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good again, man. Still good. I have an idea about a business is waiting to put on the scene. Now, we have public bus service going to the northeast, and we have public bus service going to St. Peter's Monkey Hill, the north. And we have the West Line bus service. But is there any bus service from downtown Bastille to Boardwalk or to Friggy Bay and beyond?
Nope. Not officially.
Right. Now, if any one of you guys in there just say, look, I'm going to get a little minibus or a good vehicle, and you're going to do that service, the amount of people going to want to shove you out.
Yeah.
And the idea is there. So when you say you're trying to start a business or you're thinking about a business, from the moment you open your mouth and you tell me, I'm going to try and fight you down and discourage you from it. When you look like gone into it now and you can't believe that it's like some people ask you to give them an estimate on a building. And when you give them the estimate, they say, boy, I ain't got a kind of money, boy. But they take your estimate and they go and go get somebody else who can do it cheaper. So you see, best sometimes you keep your mouth shut when you're planning about something. If it's not on the market,
Right. It's always best.
right, keep your mouth shut until you practically get into it.
Yeah.
I always think about that for years. How come nobody saying, by, let me say, okay, eastbound shuttle? Because a lot of people want to go over the strip. They do not have their own transport. They want to hitch a ride, and everybody want to carry somebody over in the vehicle while they're going over the same place. So once you have your little business, take little and you will get plenty. I have known a hotel in St. Kitts started with 1 case of carry beer a week because I used to drive the beer truck in them times. That was the only beer truck on the island. And now today, that hotel is big in St. Kitts. So you got to start little and you advance.
Right.
And when people lay down, some people lay down and from the time they drop down, the oil has dropped down to it and the brains drop down, they don't think and study. But if they know what a lot of business people do at nights when they lay down, they go and go study how to work out this and get this work and get this amount of money. Oh, brother, use your brain not only to sleep. So that's my little idea, teachers.
Well, for the listeners, somebody grab it and run. I'm gonna read.
Go with it. Okay then, you guys.
All right. I'm gonna read a comment that's coming through. Somebody says part of the problem is the inherent behavior of our persons who have gone through the startup process, reluctance and outright refusal to become mentors and trainees for young persons who are interested in venturing on their own. I think it does not have an incubator system to nurture small business development. From the financial to the operational and even the physical location, there is no help, no guidance, no nothing. There needs to be a preschool/kindergarten system to help entrepreneurs and small businesses have a greater success and the survival rate after startup. Venture capitalists are good for the financial aspect, but you get the money, you understand baby steps, but your exuberance and lack of discipline from the excitement causes you to quickly overspend.
Yeah, and a lot of venture capital groups, they do also insist on having some persons involved in the running of the business management, somewhat of an incubator type system, which is what I think would be necessary in our environment. One of the things too that makes it difficult here is this run come follow thing that we have here, and I think this is a serious thing, and I've heard many innovative entrepreneurs complain about this, where you see a possibility, you see a niche or a demand, and you go ahead and try and fulfill that demand, and before you turn around, there's 6 or 7 persons trying to do the same exact thing. And in a market where you are now just starting to begin this thing or whatever, and even just the fact that the market is small here in St. Kitts, right, because of population size, a lot of the time it stifles all the businesses, right? And I see it all the time. Like, that is why we end up seeing these trends in St. Kitts. You ever realize we have trends in St. Kitts where, like, for a 2-year span, everybody's selling clothes on the side of the street, and then come back 2 years, everybody's selling food.
Now
and then come back around.
It's food right now.
Oh, it's food right now? Yeah. So, like, we don't have these trends. Like, oh, this person really is, and all it is that person look like they're making money. You could do that too.
Yeah, and then they do it too.
You have no idea what the person would have done.
And then that saturates the market in a, how to say it, in an unprofessional way, because everybody looks at the one or two persons that want to take it seriously, jump on board, saturate the service, and then it all sorts of falls apart.
Right.
And then nobody is not interested in it. And then those two who, would have been thriving, they've been choked off, and now the business is failing. Some of them might have quit to save their savings and all these things. It's a horrible cycle. We have another call. We lost you.
A lot call.
But Amali, what you were saying is a big thing for me. Hold on.
I think we're back.
Looks like the caller is back. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Morning, it's me again. Sorry, this is a topic that I really like. Good show.
Who's this?
I wanted to follow up on what the gentleman was saying when he called, when he said keep your mouth shut. I don't think so. I think that when you have an idea, you need to talk to people who can actually discourage you. That's how you kind of validate whether you're thinking about everything in the first place. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of people copying you. Because if you put in the work, right, they're not you. They don't have your passion. People could copy. Do you know it's easy to create another Facebook?
It's very easy.
To do what?
It's very. I've seen a guy create Twitter, a replica of Twitter in 24 hours.
It's very easy because the blueprint is already there. You just have to recreate.
Exactly. So having an idea doesn't mean you have to hoard it. You need to share it with trusted people. You need to be able to have them validate. You need to be able to have them challenge you. So when I was going through my own phase, I would tell people, please don't tell me this is great. Make me not want to do this. And they tried. It didn't work because by the time they came with all the challenges I'd already considered, and the ones that I didn't consider, I went back to the drawing board and I came up with something. And that's how I've grown, So don't always hoard and keep it to yourself. You need to share and trust in who you are. Trust in the fact that you've put in a lot of time. You literally pounded the pavement. No one can do what you can do. It doesn't matter whether they get as close, but nobody is you. Nobody can replicate who you are.
Right.
The other thing that you touched on is another thing I'm very passionate about, the saturation. I am bothered by it. I am really, really, really bothered by it because we have a lot of innovative people right now who are coming up with amazing solutions, but a lot of them are very similar.
Yeah.
And as in you hit the nail on the hammer. Is that the right phrase?
Nail on the head.
Oh. He's Nigerian.
Okay.
No chance.
Okay. I can't help but wonder, we have to be a lot more collaborative.
Ah, yes.
This is a time for more collaboration. You're talking about competing on a global scale. So me, Tom, Dick, and Harry have the similar idea. Why on earth are we going ahead and just create everything when we can now actually start to compete on a global scale and putting our ideas together? You understand? So I mean, what people don't take offense to what I'm going to say, but for me, I can't help but wonder why you feel the need to put SKN as a prepend or as a appendix to the end of your name. I'm not sure what the motivation is behind that, but in my opinion, it feels as though you're being a little bit myopic.
Right.
Like you're catering to the local market when the world has got so much smaller. We can't just. So yesterday, say for instance, I was at the beach, and you guys are familiar with the almond trees, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went and I picked a bunch of them, and I picked the dry ones and I picked the ripe ones, and I was saying to myself, oh, well, how come no one has done anything with these yet?
Mm-hmm.
How come no one has figured out this can be made into maybe take the nuts and make it into ice cream, whatever the case may be, and then call it a name that you can't pronounce. Market it. Market it. Beyond the shores of saying, I mean, there's so many different things. But what I'm trying to make is you can't be myopic. You have to think of the world. You have to think of the global market. It's not just here.
Yeah.
Because as you can see, we are very, very vulnerable. One hurricane, one pandemic, one something, and then that's it. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes. I'm going to read another comment that came through. Someone said the main problem is that the government wants everyone to be dependent on it. If an entrepreneur wants to seek capital... Let me start over. Apparently I was whispering and I didn't realize. The main problem is that the government wants everyone to be dependent on it. If an entrepreneur wants to seek capital, why not put together an event to introduce a select few to the product and seek capital in that setting, like a private Shark Tank concept. That's how U.S. companies seek funding. The only difference is the formalities of the venture capitalists in larger societies. People complain before they exhaust their options. Successful entrepreneurs need to be aggressive. It's true. People do complain and then
I don't
before
agree. I don't believe the government want everybody to depend on
well, meaning
wait, the opposite. I really wish I didn't have to hire them.
No,
I agree with
think they want to depend
the
on
exhaustion part though.
Don't want people to depend on them?
Yeah, it's obvious.
People complain before they exhaust their options. And we have another call on the line. Caller, good morning.
Yes, this student call back here.
We know. We was waiting.
Right. It isn't everything you talk before action. You talk some, and then some, you leave it for the action to start. And when the action started, other people will learn from your actions. Now, I used to race bicycle in one park and around the island and go abroad and represent my country. Now, do you think I can tell my opponents how I train and what I do to beat them? Let them look at me on the bike and they will learn as much as they can learn by my action, not by my mouth. If I tell them what I eat, how I relax, and what I do to train, well, I mean, I may as well keep out the competition. You don't let your opponent know everything by mouth. Let them look and learn, not listen and learn. And that's my input.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, I think, when you're talking about sporting events, especially, like, I think that's a little bit of a different animal than the business market. Yes, it's competitive and all of that, but I'll give you an example. So, I have a company that does, like, services for creatives, right? Certain services. And there are persons that work along with me. Right? No, there's person that work along with me. Now, one of the persons that work along with me, he branched out and started doing some of the similar types of services, right? And persons, when they saw it, like, from the time he just put up, like, oh, this is what I'm doing now, like, I started getting texts. Like, what kind of, you involved in this? Like, and persons were, like, genuinely angry, like, like, how could he do this? Like, you teach him everything, bang, 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 whatever. I'm like, no, it's good that he's doing this. Like, it can be better for me because he's coming into the market. He has similar outlook, similar business practices. It's going to be better for the market in general, right? And I felt proud that I was able to give, and he still comes to me for advice, and we still talk about stuff and whatever, and we still work together. He still works with me, right? Or works with me, alongside me. So I think when Amali was speaking about how some of these other ethnic groups
yeah.
and so, like, collaborate and work together, I think there's an understanding that as we collaborate, as we work together, it gets better for everybody. Like, sometimes I go on shows or whatever and I talk about how I would deal with a certain situation. Maybe, an artist dealing with a company or thing, and people will be like, how you get out all the information there for free? I'm like, because at the end of the day, if everybody doing this, it'll be better for me. right? As opposed to persons taking up unsavory business practices and making it more difficult for me who are trying to do the right thing. to come on board. The better if everybody know that this is how it should be done. You know, and then I have to find ways to give myself a competitive advantage. But I mean, we can't just always, you know, just fight one another, try to keep things to yourself. Like, we have to collaborate if we want to see success.
For sure. It's inevitable, honestly. But you know, let's touch on another topic quickly before we take another short break. More St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis will soon unveil its National Heroes Park. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, William Hodge, said that the facility is a tangible link to the Federation's rich history and a valuable teaching tool for the younger generations. It's located along the Kim Collins Highway, and the multi-million-dollar facility features statues of the country's national heroes, which are Sir Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw, Sir Caleb Paul Southwell, Sir Joseph Nathaniel France, Sir Simeon Daniel, and Dr. the Right Excellence and the Right Honorable Sir Kennedy Simmons, in the most recently named and the only living national hero. The visitor center at the park features additional information about the nation's builders, and Mr. Hodge said, "This is a place where our children can be brought to, especially those in the rural areas." And speaking in this capacity as a member of the Independence Planning Committee, he further stated that children should have access to the country's history all throughout the year, as opposed to once annually on National Heroes Day, which is also a big thing. It's like National Heroes only exist for some reason during independence. That's the only time you really hear about them too.
I don't know. Maybe because all the national heroes are involved in politics. Perhaps that's why. I don't know. What do I know?
Possibly.
I don't know anything. I'm going to sleep.
Why Kim Collins is a national hero yet?
Why Kayamba one?
Questions.
Anyway,
questions that need
exactly
answers.
I'm in trouble.
So, Mr. Hodge also noted that there have been many calls for the local history to be included in the national education curriculum, and was happy to report that one such course will be soon introduced to the nation's schools. As I reflect on our first national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Robert Bradshaw, he was a self-taught person from humble beginnings, and our children must know this, he said. Several students across St. Kitts and Nevis will have the opportunity to learn more about the national heroes and the National Heroes Park when they attend National Heroes Day ceremony on September 16th. 5 students from every public and private school are scheduled to attend to witness the observance. But we have another call on the line. Caller, good morning.
Very blessed morning to you, my friend, and to all your listeners everywhere. I am making an inquiry about the traffic talk. I haven't heard the traffic talk for the past couple of weeks, so I'd like to find out what is the status of traffic talk on Monday mornings at 8:30. We are missing the traffic talk. What's the issue?
Well, so we don't know what the issue is, but we're just waiting for the inspector to be able to resolve it and get back on track. I think that they're dealing with some internal things, and waiting for them to address them.
Right, okay. Quickly, while I'm on with you, let me make an input with respect to the operations of the bus terminal.
Okay.
I want to believe that both the West Line and the East Line bus terminals should have dispatchers. I have seen the National Bus Terminal in St. George's, Grenada operated with the use of dispatchers. And one of the things that they do is that each and every time a bus returns, or let's say arrives at the terminal, that bus pays a $2 toll for the use of the terminal. And those funds are used to compensate or to pay the dispatchers and the security officers. So I believe that the East Line bus terminal, they have security officers. The West Line bus terminal, I believe, they need 2 dispatchers. There should be a dispatcher for each line. There are 2 lines. So you have a loading line on the seaside. You have a loading line on the traffic side or mountain side, if you want to call it that. the East Line, you have the Molyneux buses and you have the Sadler's buses. So those are the buses that are going the longer routes, the longer distances. So my suggestion, my humble recommendation is that there should be dispatchers for each line so that there would be more order and a much better structure so that you don't have busmen from Sadler's soliciting passengers for Molyneux, which to me, is defeating the purpose of the system that has been put in place at the East Line bus terminal. So I strongly suggest that they have a dispatcher for Sadler's, you have a dispatcher for Molyneux, and you have 2 lines at the West Line bus terminal. There should be a dispatcher for each line. So dispatchers should be the ones ensuring that the buses are filled to capacity. It's a terminal, that's where people are going to catch the buses. So I do believe that each and every bus should get its full quota, and that quota is 15. I have seen ladies driving 1 hour jet from the terminal in Grenada, leaving the terminal with 15 people. So, I mean, the bus fees are already so low, but yet you have, like I said, Sadler's busmen soliciting Molyneux travelers or passengers, which is defeating the purpose. So I strongly recommend and suggest that there should be dispatchers at both terminals. You have security officers and you have things in place to ensure that things are well organized for the benefit of everybody. And in time to come, I want to believe the St. Peter's or the Monkey Hill busmen would also want to canvass, or they would want to lobby for their own bus terminal. I think a good location would be the old Bastia Senior High School. You can have a proper terminal built there whereby you have shops, you have toilet facilities, and again, you can have dispatchers and security officers. So you ensure that you have a proper bus terminal for the north, that's the Monkey Hill or St. Peter's Zoo. So that's my contribution for this morning. God bless.
All right, thank you very much, caller. That's quite a lot of notes, quite a lot of notes. But this is not our area of expertise, and we'll have to get some more information to comment further on that. And hopefully we could get the traffic department to have some input as well on the matter. And now we have to pause for a very short break, and we will come back with more Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, featuring Azim on the 1s and 96s, and Jade, she disappeared, but I think she's still on the OBS and the mouse, or not.
And on our nerves.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Join us on Win FM every other Tuesday for Let's Talk IT from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. to hear our hosts, Naeem Richardson and Janiqua Esdale, speak about different aspects of social media, technology, and STEM advancements in youth. Tune in, ask questions, and let's talk IT. Brought to you by the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Association.
Pour it up, meet the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Master of the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. But stand full of vibes, living for the color. I know black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Master of the colors in my life.
There is no better time to discover what your National Bank Visa or debit card can do.
Next in line, please. Good night, welcome to Kevin.
Weren't you the same guy who... never mind. Can I get a number 1 and 15?
Excuse me? There's no number 15.
You take a 1 and a 5, you put them together and you make it huge.
Hey, Al, this guy needs a number 1 and a number 15. Oh, really? A 15? So your total is 42.50?
Using your National Bank Visa debit or black card is fast, secure, and convenient.
That's what I'm talking about. Honey, which way to the movie? You again?
Welcome to Caribbean Cinemas. You guys here for the kiddies party?
No, we're here for the big movie premiere.
That will be screen 4. Hope you enjoy the movie with your mom.
She's not my mom. She's my date.
Cashless SKN is our new lifestyle choice. National Bank, always here.
Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitter is gold. Half the story had never been told. So now you see the light. Hey, stand up for your right. Come on, get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now you see the light, you stand up for your right.
Welcome back to Island Tea with our faves. Kevon and Amali and Azim.
Kevon.
And hi.
By chance, your parents got an annoying radio in the kitchen?
I will not participate in this conversation with you. So let's talk about 2020.
Yeah, parents got an annoying little
tropical
radio.
storms.
Ambush in the night. Wow.
That
Mali,
was
you
a
see
setup
that
by.
ghetto?
That was a setup by.
Set up by.
Tropical Storm Sally is the 18th named tropical storm in the historically active Atlantic hurricane season. I am sick and fed up.
About my fave.
Yeah, I come into it.
Oh, okay.
I come into it. But Tropical Storm Sally, the earliest 18th named storm on record, formed near the tip of South Florida, and forecasters say that it will strengthen to become a Category 1 hurricane over warm Gulf waters ahead of the possible landfall on Tuesday along the Gulf Coast.
Teacher?
Mm-hmm.
You mean farm by Florida?
That's why you realize they're now farming in the Caribbean basin versus out in the Atlantic.
Out in the Atlantic. Like where things going on?
Literally, like, Sally is chilling on the west coast of Florida.
No, dude, usually, right?
Do they go south?
Usually they'll like they'll farm up just off the coast of Africa and so.
Yeah, and then what they will happen,
And then, by the time they get to us, they're Category 1 tropical storm or more. But now they're passing us, reaching to the US and then farming.
I ain't vexed.
I ain't mad.
But, more tropical. So they currently actually, there are now 5 active systems in the Atlantic, which is tying the record for the most systems active at once. And that record was set in 1971. So we now have 5 active systems in the Caribbean. In the Atlantic/Caribbean region. And then there are 2 systems that are being monitored, but they are not formed enough to be considered, but they are being monitored. So let's honestly, just keep your eyes out, keep your ears open, because
hurricane season turn up.
Hurricane season turn right up. Also, they are. I think it was. I'm trying to remember. Gosh, I can't forget. Hurricane. Well, tropical storm. I think it is Paulette. Is presented to pose no risk to the Caribbean because it is way out in the Atlantic.
Only good news.
And going north. Either way, we can't take it, so please keep going north until you're put up into nothingness. We can handle it. But let's also talk about some more not Caribbean, some entertainment news. Over the weekend, we had something that everyone was pleasantly gifted with by the Versus team. We had Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle as they sat down for a 2.5 hour
divas
singing special. Now, a lot of people watched the Brandy and Monica and were underwhelmed in terms of everybody was just like, it's a listening party. The energy was so whacked, and people weren't very impressed. However, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight, first of all,
did the thing.
They did the thing. Everybody was sort of expecting the same Monica and Brandy energy where they just sat in songs. So for the listeners and the viewers who don't really know anything about the Verses, it's a platform where they just recently during the COVID-19 they tried to do battles, but they're not really battles per se. They're just like 2 greats in the same room going through their catalog and the discography, and they sit in chairs next to side by side, and they talk sometimes they talk about the song or the era they were in when the song that is about to be played it will be played. And there's a lot of reminiscing for people and a lot of insight as well, because sometimes they tell you some stuff that happened that you had no clue happened and stuff like that.
Very nostalgic.
Very, 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 very fun moment. Honestly, when we first started, so for me, I thought Patti LaBelle would have, sweep the night.
And that's my argument. I don't know why.
Well, here's the thing.
Anybody would think that Patti LaBelle could outsing. Well, she can
not outsing. Not outsing.
But shut up.
Here's why.
Gladys Knight. Never.
That is why.
My vote was for Gladys.
Never.
No, here's why. Let me explain. Lord, as Amali's girl is Gladys, so he's on the
Amali's a pip.
So let me explain.
I wanted to be a pip.
Lord, let me explain. So Patti is known for the high notes. And
Patti is a better vocalist.
Patti is an easy vocalist, but when it comes to Gladys got a voice that will last an eternity. So. That was the thing, people were expecting that. And then when the night started, I think Patti was first up. Patti played her track, and the track was playing with the words, and Patti was humming along and doing little runs in between and stuff. And then when Gladys turned, when she had her first opportunity to play, Gladys played instrumental. and sang her entire song. And I think that put Patty on the spot.
In your face!
And that would put Patty on the spot because Patty's follow-up song, she tried to sing the entire song, but I don't think she was prepared to sing. So you could tell she was struggling a bit. And let's be honest, and Gladys said it on the live, as you age, your voice gets deeper.
Yeah, definitely.
And, it's harder for these vocalists to sing.
Breath.
And your breath.
And notice that the Patty ain't get a beat.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
but that's because she has, bad feet.
Yeah, and, a lot of these singers sitting and singing is not an easy task. So, you have to stand and sing. And Patty did not, she has foot trouble and she was wearing heels. But, it was quite a night.
Heels, I can't walk.
But she kicked them off last night.
She was here, Miss Festival, she kicked them off. She came on stage in her heels and then after the third song, she just...
Yeah, she kicked them off. But honestly, it was such a night to see. And the two of them are like, they call each other sisters because they're 1 year apart in age. One is 76, one is 77, and they just spent the whole night reminiscing about each other's careers, and they said talking about each other's songs and how they love each other's songs, and the camaraderie was so much fun, to be honest. And then there was a surprise that came in the last half hour. They brought
the Queen herself.
They brought Dionne Warwick on the set, and they all three stood and sang.
And Dionne voice sound exactly the same.
Don't change. You could hear Gladys' song get deeper. But Dionne just sort of still the same.
I don't know why.
That day would have been made perfect if Aretha was here.
That's what we were saying. Everybody's saying Aretha is missing.
And Aretha would have done the dance. All headshots.
Just busting in with the R.E.S.P.C.T.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Ooh.
Just busting in with that. They kill everything.
You know what they could have done to buy? Somebody versus Tina Turner.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're trying to but you see, a lot of people are trying to see the turn. That's the thing. Everybody's saying, "Oh, we want Mariah Carey on the live." But then the thing is, yes, you want her on the verses, but then verses is a battle thing. It's like two. You have to be the par. The person that was always next to you in your career. And then when it comes to like Mariah Carey, who you gonna put with her? When it comes to Toni Braxton, who you gonna put with her? And stuff like those are the questions.
They got people that are in leagues by themselves.
Yeah, you can. And then people calling for Celine Dion. Who you can put with Celine Dion? Let's be honest.
You know who Celine? You know who should have been with Celine?
Cher?
No, I was thinking Whitney.
Whitney would have been a good. Whitney would have been a great one.
Celine. Whitney I think that would have been the biggest verses ever.
If Whitney was still around and they did Whitney and Celine, woo, that would have been a shutdown. Whew.
I love Celine.
I'm telling you.
I should from Montreal.
Man.
Whitney
and Celine.
I've seen Celine.
Thinking about it.
I wasn't.
Celine?
I've seen Celine in
Vegas.
Vegas
These days on the river.
Yeah.
I've seen her in Vegas, but
exclusively. She don't do a tour.
But yeah,
Celine's live voice.
Who's some of the persons that you would want to see? Like, I mean, we mentioned Celine, but you personally.
I want to see old ones. Like, a lot of people saying, "Oh, Beyonce." No, they're still active. Like, that's not interesting because we see that they're still touring, they're still active. We want to see the old. I want to see Toni Braxton. I would love to see Toni Braxton on the live.
Okay.
But again, I don't know who to put her with. The Mariah Carey would be great as well, but don't know who to put her with. But even Mariah Carey, not really because she's still active.
Right.
So it's like I'm just getting another concert.
Hey, be wicked. Bar Cement versus New Edition.
Even Jagged Edge.
Yeah, some of them old times, the old R&B's.
Backstreet Boys versus NSYNC.
Yeah, that would be.
That's one I've heard thrown around a lot.
Sure?
Yeah,
Backstreet Boys.
Because it's a natural versus.
Yeah, that would be a show.
And if people saying Christina and Britney, but the two of them don't sing the same, but they just had the same career time. They don't.
Because something like that that's almost like a Pink and Lady Gaga.
Yeah, they don't match.
Yeah, let me hear about Pink boy.
Pink still around. Pink big
and,
tour.
And Pink got voice.
Pink has one of those tours. When you think tours, like the best tours to go to, Pink is like up on the list because she does do the acrobatics and the aerialists. And
I mark and highlight. Versus. Uncle Swiss.
But honestly, somebody on the live is saying Janet Jackson, but that's a good option too. But then who do you put Janet with?
Hey, Janet. Who will put Janet with?
Who do you put Janet with, to be completely honest? Nobody.
Nobody really.
You gotta give me a second for that one.
Janet.
What we got
Nobody,
again?
I think. I don't think you could
Yo.
put Janet with anybody.
Picture this one. John Legend and Brian McKnight.
That would be a good one.
See, I was wondering who Brian McKnight could
That
go
would be a
against.
good one. Vocally, that would be
I
a
was
good one.
thinking. I was thinking not John Legend, but Maxwell.
Maxwell.
Brian McKnight and Maxwell.
That would be a nice one. Mm-hmm.
So who'd you put John Legend with? Nobody.
we in his time frame, nobody. I don't think you could put him in anybody.
John
He's
is
a
up there,
different. He's a
boy.
different
Up
one.
there.
But honestly, these the versus team, and they're putting together great ones. The Beanie Man and Bounty still reign
the
supreme.
Best. Still the best.
Because the energy was.
Last night was a bit close.
Supercat alive still?
Who?
Supercat.
Yeah, Supercat just bring out a song like last week.
Yeah, boy. I would like to see a Yellow Man versus Supercat, you know?
Oh.
But Patty kick off your shoes and everything. Honestly, the live was great. And then, the both of them said the end of the night with urging people to vote. Use your voice, vote, and they just ended the night on a wonderful note.
The truth is that, but the viewers been winning. The viewers been winning this thing.
Yeah.
We have been blessed.
Imagine you're getting this for free.
And like this, and the celebrations, because that's really what it is. The celebrations of these people's careers and
for sure.
talent, right?
That's the big part.
And I think it's really done a lot to re-energize some of them. You could imagine what's happening today on like the streaming platforms. Like the royalty check this month gonna be like triple what it usually is.
Yeah. There's another one that would have been nice, though, but I think one of them would have been annihilated by the other.
Who? Tell us still.
James Bond versus Little Richard. Little Richard was dead.
Yeah.
Then nobody, because James Bond is Michael Jackson of his era. They got nobody who come against James.
Yeah.
Nobody at all.
James Bond is a different one.
At all. But Little Richard was his, for lack of a better word, his nemesis from that era.
His career.
That was his competition. He ended up, he ended up getting him a KO, but in the beginning, it was James and Little Richard neck and neck.
Then they branch off. But honestly, I just can't wait to see what Versus is gonna release next, because they have, now they teamed up with Apple Music, so now people could watch it not on Instagram, because a lot of people were complaining that we could only watch it on Instagram.
Yeah, Apple Music and Apple
Music. On YouTube though, live.
Some people just stream.
Yeah,
so
you could find it stream, but it's not unofficial.
It's not official, but
unofficial.
No, is like I saw one from Patty last night on YouTube.
Like a screencast.
Somebody was in studio, going
shit.
live, from wherever they were going live from, but it was an unofficial stream. But honestly, I'm excited to see what else they come up with, because Versus has been pushing out some crazy mashups lately.
The truth is, there's just so many
mashups
music,
you could do.
Yeah, and so much great music and great artists over the years, man. Like
me too. So we had Gladys and Patty. We had Brandy and Monica. We had Rick Ross and 2 Chainz.
2 Chainz get bodied, right?
Easily.
I didn't see that one.
He didn't get bodied.
And who was it?
I don't think he got bodied. Like Rick Ross obviously won the battle, but
yeah. Then we had we had DMX and Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, DMX get bodied though.
Then I go into this Fab and Jada. Who else did we have?
I was never really fans of Fab and
Alicia
Jada.
Keys and John Legend.
I watched that one too.
Alicia Keys, when they played John Legend?
Yeah.
June,
Yes.
back in June.
Yes. That one was good too. That one had a lot
I
of
missed
singing.
that one. I missed that
that
one.
one too.
Oh no, I saw it, but I missed it. They had 2 pianos set up back to back.
Yeah, the pianos.
And they were
playing and singing and thing.
Who else did we have?
Amazing.
They had 112 and Jagged Edge. Who else did they have?
Where are when these things happening?
Bounty and Beanie, which
On the
is
strip somewhere.
Buddha Bar. We had Nelly and Ludacris.
Spice Mill.
Erica Badu and Jill Scott.
Woo! I saw
one-
that one.
Yeah, that one there was.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
I'm a big Erica fan.
These were earlier ones.
Yes.
They had Swiss Beats and Timberland.
That was the first one.
The first one. They had Dream.
They had
and
Ting too.
Sean.
They had Scott Storch and Manny Fresh.
Manny Fresh, yeah.
And Manny was bodied as well.
Yeah.
But that's
Earlier
Scott
ones.
Storch.
Scott Storch and Manny
Produced
Fresh.
a lot of good music,
Uh-huh.
For everybody, all kind of styles.
For everybody.
Manny
from
too,
pop
but
to
it's like
hip-hop.
Manny got one style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hot boys on fire.
But honestly,
when Scotch Stars bust his song, he do for Mariah Carey, right, with Jadakiss.
Oh yeah.
K-I-S-S me. I say, hey, this dance done. This dance done. And so many of those songs I didn't even know Scotch Stars produce.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of hits.
Even thing last night.
Spliffing him out in sunglasses.
Even last night with the Patty and Gladys, Patty the Bell sang a song that Celine Dion ended up covering, and I didn't even know Patty was the original singer of the song. I can't remember the name of the song, but if you hear the song, you instantly think Celine. I had no idea Patty is who sang it originally, and she mentioned it. She said she sang the song first, and then Celine covered it after.
There's a couple songs like that.
That's like, you know,
even though they were done by like huge artists, like other artists.
And Patty mentioned that she only did
and
4.
And then the cover come bigger.
Patty mentioned she only did 4 music videos in her career. It's crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, that's
then
it.
she
Yeah.
mentioned one of them she filmed right after her sister's funeral, and she was crying in the video, and she was saying, you know, she was crying because she actually just left a funeral, not that she was being doing
that kind of
theatrics.
dedication by to the craft.
Because she said
to your fourth music video.
she mentioned that sister that had died, she said that was like the biggest Patty fan and salute. So she mentioned that, you know, she was telling the producers that she can't do the video. And then she thought to herself, you know, how am I going to feel leaving my sister, who is my biggest supporter, her funeral and not doing Patty?
Right.
So she said she had to push through it, and she went because she asked herself, what would my sister want? So she went and she pushed through it.
On a totally unrelated note, I'm looking at the computer here. It says, do you want to earn $20,000?
I do.
Your life will change forever. Do you think I should click here?
Please. I'd like 10,000. Thanks. We'll go half.
I don't think I'm going to click here.
I was looking forward to Gladys Knight coming for music festival.
There was also another one, Fred Hammond and Kirk Franklin. But Hype Man Fest. Hype Man versus.
Now, what can happen? I can tell you what can happen. Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin can come with his piano and play. And then Fred Hammond can come with his bass, with the bass player. And start slapping up and on the He can be like a musician banger. That's what can happen. But can't let them really sing.
They're not.
They're
hype men.
No. Fred Hammond could actually sing.
But
he's actually singing.
But it's just hype man.
But yeah, but Kirk.
Hype man. Yeah, hype man.
Sing with me now. That's cool. Okay.
GT, are you with
me? Oh boy. But let's talk some strange. Speaking of earning money, let's talk of something very odd and strange.
Before you go.
Yeah, you just had a moment. Go ahead.
Wizkid versus Burna Boy.
Oh. That is it. That
would be a good one.
That will be the versus.
That one.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's it.
Both with light bands. I want them with light bands in the studio.
Oh.
Wow. That would be a versus.
That got to be the first one when they do like the real verses, like the full production verses, like the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Ting, 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 ting.
I could beat all night.
Bye.
Burna Boy's album is amazing, actually.
It is. Wizkid's whole catalog is amazing.
That would be a lineup. That honestly would be a lineup. That might be like a 5-hour versus, to be honest.
Olojue Legba. They know my story.
You understand?
Oh.
Let's talk Abraham Lincoln.
Let's move on. We'll talk about this for the whole day.
Let's talk Abraham Lincoln.
How's he doing?
In strange news. So, a lock of Abraham Lincoln's hair, along with a telegram regarding the former president's assassination, sold for $81,250 at an auction over the weekend. It's a very small lock of hair.
Thank you.
Sold for $81,000.
Seems like a steal.
The hair, which was sold to the RR auction of Boston, measures about 2 inches long. It was taken from a post-mortem examination that took place after the 16th president was killed by John Wilkes Booth in 1865. The telegram, which features a splatter of blood on it, arrived to Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd, a cousin of the president's widow, Mary Todd Lincoln, in Washington in April 14th, 1865. When you're dealing with samples of Lincoln's hair, Provenance is everything. And in this case, we know that this came from a family member who was at the president's bedside, said Bobby Livingston of the R&R auction. The auction house had aimed to receive $75,000 for the hair and the telegram combo. Sunday marked the final day for the auction, and before then, the lock of Lincoln's hair had most recently been sold in 1999. You know how upset I would be if I migrate my people over here auctioning my hair?
You'll be upset, brother?
Yeah, because
would you be
I'm
upset
like,
if it's not
if I was the
blonde?
president of the US, if you president, I only sell for $80,000.
And y'all
That's what
over
I'm
here
saying. To me, that was
auctioning
kind of
me
low.
Are you expecting to hear like a 1.5 million or something like that?
y'all over here auctioning me here? Come better than that. Priceless artifact. Put me in a museum. I'd make the museum pay like 70 million for it.
But isn't the winning bid didn't go to basically a museum?
They didn't stay. The thing didn't stay.
I
But I
believe
wouldn't be
probably it's a
surprised.
museum,
Most
yeah.
of them might be museums or collectors,
Mm-hmm.
who will protect and save the hair for another auctionable time. Because we have to remember, a lot of people do these auctioning things for resale. You know, they acquire it now so they could come again in the next 15 years and auction it again.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
Not only that, sometimes like I like to listen to Jay-Z. And there's a verse on his most recent album where he says, I bought this art for 1 million. Like 2 years later, that worth 2 million. 3 years million, that worth 8 million. I can't wait to pass this down to my children. Like
Building wealth too. You know, saving to build
generational wealth. Some people just like being things too. They know how to do with the money.
They do. They just don't know. So
Like
they
all
just
the rich folks in St. Kitts.
they don't know how to do their money. So they just spend.
Mally.
But we cannot end the
Let's not
day.
come on here, see, because me ain't get a job.
We cannot end the day without acknowledging some not so great news that happened in our neighboring island, Antigua. So Antigua and Barbuda Calypso legend Sir Rupert the Mighty Swallow, he has passed. He passed away on Friday, surrounded by his family at his home after suffering from prolonged illnesses. He was 78.
Bro, it wasn't just Swallow that is no longer with us. Toots of Toots Animators has passed.
When?
Kevin, I know her name, so.
No, when?
This
Over
past
the weekend.
week.
So it was 2 on the weekend?
Yeah.
Over the weekend.
Like one day after each other, yeah.
Two legends in their respective genres. Like Toots, to me Toots is on the level with like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. Like
easily.
I've seen Toots perform several times and it's transcendent, the experience. He has mentored so many of the artists that we love, like so many musicians that I am close with. Like it's been an interesting year, man.
You know, it really hurt me when Luther Vandross died.
Oh,
I almost cried. Yeah?
Michael was rough for me. I could remember. Michael is one of them times when I remember exactly what I was doing,
knew
where
exactly
I was.
where I was.
I
and
remember
what
the
I was
conversation. Like the memory is vivid.
I could remember exactly that.
Michael
moment
didn't
too.
shock me because I don't know how to put it. I never imagined Michael getting old because of how he looks.
Right.
I could never. I say he got.
Okay.
It's a long time I done say Michael Jackson gonna dead young. He have to.
Because
I don't want him to, but
because of how his
you
life
can-
was going.
Yeah, but you can imagine how he would look at 80. He was looking scary at 40. Like I personally, I never said to anybody, but you know, and it wasn't me wishing death on him or anything.
No, I get it.
But just
Yeah.
didn't see it going any other way, like based on his life and his transformations and his
such a rough life.
Yeah, like I was like he gonna leave us young. So when it happened, I was like
yeah.
James Brown when he died.
Yeah, that was.
I remember the Whitney.
I feel like
too.
no one father dead by it.
The Whitney.
Another
too.
one.
Whitney was the Whitney.
Oh yeah,
was the
Whitney.
one.
Yeah, Whitney. I didn't see Whitney coming. Well, I lie.
No, I didn't. I didn't see it coming at all.
No, I didn't see it coming.
Well, I knew she would.
We all
when
knew
people
she
when
was-
people live that kind of life that are spiral out of control every now and then, I'd always expect that eventually. Ain't like Whitney was living a happy, healthy life and playing golf and traveling and going to Bali and you know, she was battling substances and thing and so when I heard she died, I was like, well, that happens sometimes when you live that kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
But James, I found out James died on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
And when you go after, I can tell you what I was doing.
Don't.
Please. When I found that James Bond
I feel
passed
like
away.
you might incriminate me in the process, so
No,
don't.
man, it wasn't anything illegal.
But I just really want to say, prayers and wishes out to friends, family, and fans of King Swallow and Toots. The contributions to music on a whole has been
Beyond
unmeasurable.
significant and it's immeasurable. Wow.
We've come to the end of the show. A very depressing end. Thank you, Kevon.
You're welcome.
We're supposed to start with the bad news.
Let me see if I could talk about something quick. Yeah, there's more. So I can save for tomorrow.
More bad news?
Yeah.
Let's deal with that first in the morning.
Yeah, first thing in the morning.
And then end on something.
Get out the way, and then we could have something to. I got you.
Only good news.
And end on something bright, like Prime Minister Harris allocating about $20 million for creatives. I'm putting it out there.
Put it in the atmosphere. Universe, you listening?
Yeah, Universe, we just want about $20 million for the creatives. So we can develop our businesses. Put it out there. Hala. Put it out there.
We'll find it out by.
Yeah, next month. We're almost there.
Yeah.
And I came out closer to it last night though.
Wow.
What? Progress.
Last night I had some revelations. Had some psalms. Anyway, we're leaving. We're definitely on here still.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's why I said we're leaving. I was speaking to the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so folks, we're leaving. It's the beginning of the week. It's Independence Week. Wednesday's National Heroes Day.
Yep.
So, even, for the people who we deem as heroes in our hearts that were officially made heroes, people like, Kim Collins and Kayamba and who else?
But there's many.
Many people who have, helped to build our nation and to, put it on the map. Big them up still, Even though they aren't official national heroes, they're still heroes in our hearts. So just show them some recognition, show them some love. Reach out to them when you see them, give them a hug, bring some flowers.
Maybe we should do this. Maybe we should encourage people to, on the social media, to put out people who they feel have really contributed and give them some recognition and show them some love.
Heroes Day, yeah.
On National Heroes Day. Yeah, we should push that tomorrow.
Yes. And we can feature them. We can feature some of them on Wednesday too.
Yeah, so hashtag Island Tea.
Indeed. Drive safely. Have a good day. We have a heat wave coming this weekend. I thought the heat wave was always here.
That's why you
man say again was.
I can't understand what they're talking about.
What do you mean
This
heat
ain't the
wave?
wave?
I
This
feel
is
like
not the wave?
I feel like they should say the heat wave continues because I don't think it ever ended.
Every week getting hotter and hotter than the last week and less breeze.
Yeah, and December on the corner. It's outrageous. Anyway, I got on here. Don't forget.
You can't be everybody's cup of tea because you is not a mug.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9.